Good afternoon, students. I welcome you all BSc Part 1 students for the second semester. Already you have finished your first semester on online mode with MCQ. This semester also will go for the MCQ, and the second semester we are going to start with a very simple poem with full of imagery. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening, written by Robert Frost. Let's go for some information about the poet. Robert Frost was born on 26th March 1874, one of the most celebrated poets in America. Robert Frost's works was highly associated with rural life in New England, one of the part of the America. He is a very well-known poet, and he is very famous for depicting the rural area of the New England. As a well-known poet and often quoted poet, Robert Frost was highly honored with 4 Pulitzer Prizes. One prize, getting Pulitzer Prize one for poetic work is a very difficult task, but he has got 4 Pulitzer Prizes for his best work. Frost's popular shorter poems are Mending Wall, Directive, Stopping by Woods on Snowy Evening, The Road Not Taken, Nothing Gold Can Stay, Fire and Ice, Birches, After Apple Picking. These are some very popular poems, shorter poems that has got him as a Pulitzer Prize. Robert Frost finally died on Boston on 29 January 1963. Let's come to our particular poem. Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening is a poem by Robert Frost, written in 1922 and published in 1923 in his New Hampshire volume. Imagery, personification, and repetition are prominent features in his work. The text of the poem describes the thought of a lone wagon driver, the narrator, pausing at night in his travel to watch snow falling in the woods. This particular poem is a very simple poem. It's a nature poem that has been while going on a journey. Robert Frost saw a wood filled with snow and he stopped there. So it is his beauty of the nature. He was involved in that beauty of the nature. Let's go to the poem in detail. First, we would like to read the poem. Actually, the poem has 4 stanzas, 4 lines each stanza. You may follow me after reading the poem. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. This is a simple poem. If you look at the poem, very simple poem written, but it has a lot of philosophy of life. Let's go one by one to stanza to that. If you look at the picture, you will understand that. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Let's go line by line. We'll describe that. Whose woods these are, I think I know. Friends, that woods are the private property in America. So what is the difference between woods and forest? Forests are government's property, vice versa. Woods are a private property. In our area, if you go for the Radhanagari or Rajipur forest, you will say that this all belongs to the government of Maharashtra. Tadoba forest. So anywhere we have the forest which are belong to the government of that particular state. But here it is a private property. The poet says, whose woods these are, I think I know. The poet says that because there are so many woods are there, but this particular woods where the poet is traveling is belong to some person. The poet says that I know that the owner of this particular forest or wood, we can say that his house is in the village though, but he is not living in the woods, he is living in the village. And particularly you may also know that the forests are or the woods are away from the particular village. So here also his house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. It's a double meaning for that. He will not see me stopping here. It that is a private property, that in private property nobody can go trespassing in anybody's property. So the poet says that he will not see me stopping here. The poet has some kind of guilt in his mind that I am using or I am trespassing another's property. But why the poet is doing that? To watch his woods fill up with snow. The poet is attracted towards the beauty of the nature. If you look at that, the trees are filled with snow and the beautiful picture that has made the poet attraction, and he just trespassing the another's property of the woods. So he's filled up with snow. Let's go. The poet cannot stop without going there, watching all the snow. Let's go to the second stanza. My little horse must think it cure to stop without farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. The poet is traveling on horse. It's my little horse. The poet has love for horse. That's why he calls it my little horse. Or there is another meaning for the horse. It's called pony. Basically, it is used for traveling through the snow. Pony horses are used for that. My little horse must think it cure. Cure means strange. To stop without farmhouse near. The poet is stopping in the wood, enjoying the beauty of the nature, the falling of the snow and this all. But the kind of way a human being or the person like the poet can enjoy the beauty of the nature, that cannot be enjoyed by animal, because human being has capacity to express his thought, express the beauty, to capture the beauty. These things are not possible with the animals. We also know that. That's why the poet, my little horse must think it cure. The little horse is very much confused in manner, say that why the owner is stopping, why the owner of the house, that is why he is stopping, to stop without farmhouse near. There is no farmhouse near. Why he is stopping here is a question that comes in the mind of the horse. Where the poet is stopping? Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. And it is the normal thing for a horse to stop, okay, in a farmhouse. Where there is a farmhouse, he can go there, eat the grass. But here the poet is not stopping in the without near farmhouse, but he is stopping in the where? Between the woods and frozen lake. Look at that. The he is just traveling. He saw the all the kind of snow falling and this all. And about that, at the other side of the road, what has happened? Is a lake, but is totally covered with snow. So that's why there is no movement at all. That's why it is said that frozen lake. It is the idea that comes in the mind of the horse. Why the is my boss or is my owner is mad? He doesn't understand that where to stop. He is stopping where? Between the woods and frozen lake. The darkest evening of the year. Again, friends, that frozen lake is not a daytime, it's a evening time. Darkest. There is no moon in, okay? It's a totally dark. Darkest evening of the year. You know that in the month of December, basically it is said that 21st December is the darkest evening of the year. It's a very cold in that way. So there is a always worry in the mind of the, or you may say, I say mind because the poet say my little horse of the horse. You see, it's very strange. Why my owner stops here in the woods? Okay, that's why there is a worry for the horse. Next stanza. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. See, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. So the poet sitting on the horse and enjoying the beauty of the nature, stopping without farmhouse, and after some time he doesn't want to move at all. That's why he's totally engrossed in the beauty of the nature. He was totally lost in the beauty of the nature. That's why horse thinks that. What he does? He gives his harness bells a shake. Look at the picture we have here. There's a bell in the neck of the horse. It's called harness bells. A shake. He just moves his head. He makes a sound for that to make the writer or make the narrator or make the owner of the horse to disturb his attention, to attack his attention. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. Is there any mistake? That why does the owner stop in that particular condition without farmhouse? He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. He just wanted to say that, hello, is there any mistake? Why you are stopping in the wood? The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flakes. Friends, how silence, there is a total pin of silence. In that silence, there is only three sounds. First sound is a bell of the horse, because he moves his neck, that's why the sound has created. The second sound of the sweeping of easy wind. Look at that. In that snowy atmosphere, the wind is flowing easily is flowing, and that wind is also being listened, being heard by the poet. That's why the sweep sound of the sweep easy wind and the downy flake. The snow is falling from the sky. As a result, it has also created some kind of sound. So look at that, how the pin of silence is there in the nature. The poet also likes that all beauty. And the last stanza, the poet says, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. The woods are dark lovely, dark and deep. Look at the very beautiful nature, beauty of the nature. The woods are very lovely, beautiful, dark. You might have seen how the trees are very, dark, very large numbers of trees are there in the forest. So dark and deep. You cannot go to the reach of the, in the forest because it's totally, dark and deep. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. But I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. Even though, friends, you also know that even though the beauty of the nature is there, even though he just wanted to enjoy the beauty of the nature, he just wanted to become one with the beauty of the nature, he cannot stop because there's a disturbance made by the three sounds, actually, which is the artificial sound that is made by the horse because he has given his harness bells a shake. That's what the poet is. So that's why he said that the woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep. Friends, we cannot enjoy the beauty of nature because there are so many promises we have given to the somebody, to the friend, duty we have to. There are so many responsibility we have to complete. As we have taken the birth of a human being, we are always in condition because just I would like to tell you that suppose you do not want to do anything in our full day, just in the morning from the evening, and just you are sitting in the room without talking to anybody, and your friends will call you, or if you are doing nothing, just sitting in your room, and your mother and father will come, why you are not speaking? So people are always giving responsibilities to you. That's why I say that, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. You could look at that. This is very beautiful that this particular stanza of the poem is also taken by the first Prime Minister of our India, um, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He is always keeping this particular stanza. So that's why he is a very quoted poet. Would you say that? Meaning, so I have promises to keep and miles to go before. So what is the miles to go before I sleep? Before I sleep, sleep is an indication of death, friends. Okay, so up to the end of my life, I have so many miles to go. Means I have to travel. I have to make a journey. Okay, so without that, I cannot stop at any place. There are so many things that I have to do in my life. So this is a simple poem of a Robert Frost. Let's go some other things in that particular way. Let's, if you look at the rhyme scheme of the poem, that know, though, here, and snow. What is that? A, no, A, though, here, B, no, and snow. But A, B, A. Look at the rhyme scheme. A, B, A. Let's go to the second stanza. B, here, B, cure, near, B, lake, C, here again becomes B. So second stanza, B, B, C, B. B, B, C, B. Okay. So go to the third stanza of the poem, you will understand that. Lake and sick together. So C, mistake C, sweep D, fleck, sick and fleck, D. So sorry, C. So C, C, D, C. So the third stanza, and fourth stanza you have the sweep and deep. D, keep, D, sleep, D, sleep, D. So stanza A, B, A, B, B, C, A, C, C, D, A, D, 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 and D. So this is the rhyme scheme of the poem. So friends, it's very simple poem that you might have understand. Okay. Thank you.